Hello dear friends, welcome to my studio in Montreal, to our Monday video. As usual, I have a technical support, you see, so any questions, any comments, just type it in the chat and I can hear it and I can answer. That's how we can talk, so feel free to interrupt me anytime. And today we're gonna paint the very specific subject that will be a surprise. It's the boats, but I will show you the reference, but it's kind of, we will do it in kind of different way. So that's the boats, this is our reference. Honestly, this is a marina. It have been near my house like a 15 minutes walk, but 2 years ago it was destroyed completely, so now it's not exist anymore. So that's a very old photo, like a 3 years old photo. And can you imagine how cool it was to have that view just walk distance from your house? It was a lot of references what I'm using for my paintings, so now it's gone and I use my paintings to back to memory, to that beautiful time, then we can see that beauty. So idea is we're gonna paint that, as I say, kind of different way. No sketch at all. Yeah, I know. It's complicated object, I know that. So we'll try to paint the boats without boats. So that's the idea. A couple of times I did it on my workshops and that's always challenge for myself as well. So it's kind of stressful, you know, because no sketch, no perspective, no construction. So idea is, instead of create the shapes of the boats and build the boats, I will try to explain the idea of the boats and feeling about our subject without create the subject. So it's kind of abstract game. I hope you enjoy it. Again, any questions you can ask me. And for this job, I'm gonna use the Baohong paper, my favorite, rough. So that's how the paper look like, Master Choice. And by the way, you can see my painting here, which is big honor for me. And for now, my website, we have a discount on that paper. Honestly, I can say 80% of my paintings I'm doing on that paper. It's exactly half sheet, rough, 100% cotton for sure. It's, from my point of view, it's truly the best paper what we have in the world. As I say, we have a discount. You can go to my website, watercolor.com. So you can try. If you didn't do that before, you have to try that paper. Believe me, it's changed everything. Now I can tell you the funny story. It was about maybe 2 years ago that I discovered that paper the first time, and before I paint mostly on the Sanders waterford. So then I discovered the Baohong, I switched to the Baohong paper. It takes a couple of weeks to adjust myself to that paper because the colors extremely bright, they're staying on top, they're not going inside the paper, so we not lost a lot of pigments. It's truly bright pictures finally. And then I start to paint on that paper. I got a lot of messages on the Instagram, Facebook, and people asking why I changed my palette, because all the paintings for now look so bright. I said, no, it's the same paint, Daniel Smith, same palette, same colors, paper different, and that different paper change everything. So again, if you didn't try that before, it makes sense. It's truly nice paper, very specific and completely different compared to the Sanders or Arches. Okay, so as I say, this is our reference, no sketch, and plus I'm going to the square format instead of the landscape. So that means I couldn't copy that picture, I have to rebuild my composition myself. And again, any question, just ask me. Okay, so plus this time I want to show you the step by step how I prepared my paper. So this is the back side of the Baohong Masters Choice paper, not the front, the back. So I wet it at least, I start to wet it at least 15 minutes before our live streaming. So my paper full of water inside now. See, it's very soft, it's not the cardboard anymore. So my next step, I put it face up like that. Okay, and I use just a roll of the paper towel to press my paper. very hard. And you know, it's a very important step. I have to be sure that there is no air between my paper and the board. By the way, I use the PVC board, black. It's on my website as well, so it's pretty comfortable to paint on that. It's not heavy, and you see no reflection. I see only my paper, not dirt around. So the black color is a good solution for that. So the next step. So my paper stuck on the board, and honestly we can start to paint. The problem is in time, then the paper going to dry. You know, they're starting to be curved like that, so it's not comfortable. That's why I'm gonna use tape now to fix it on my board. So that's the reference, by the way. You can keep it in front of your eyes if you want to follow me. Hello friends! Hello Denmark! Thank you for joining me today. Good afternoon, Germany. Okay, so you see now paper is ready. So we can start to paint, and yeah, it's truly stressful. No sketch, nothing, so we can try to organize our space directly. Well, wish me good luck. Hello Portugal. As I say, this is, you see, that's the square, so that means I have to rebuild my composition, and I'm not following exactly the numbers of the boats what we have here. So as I say, it's just impression and feeling about the boats without the boats themselves. Hello India. You know, then I hold the plein air workshops. Sometimes we go into the marina, special for the jobs like that, and it's always interesting challenge. Hello Colombia. So what I'm doing now, let's say I'm sketching directly by the watercolor. I'm trying to organize the space. And I use the very limited numbers of colors. So here is was a pure Cobalt. Now I'm starting to use the Indigo. It's right here on my palette, and the Quinacridone Sienna together to make the grayish brownish colors. Yeah, for now it looks strange, I know that. No worries, I will try to make it more understandable later. Anyway. But if you want to try something like that, it's truly a challenge. To organize your space to make the boats without boats, that's the brilliant challenge for the artists. Hello Caroline. And for all the people who are now on the Instagram, you can go to the YouTube channel. It's a live streaming right now. Join me. And we have almost 50 people watching me. Thank you very much for that. If you don't mind, please give us a like, because that helps other people to find that video. You know, we always make posts to advertise the live streaming, and always after we finish the live streaming, I have a lot of messages. Oh, we miss it, we didn't see that. So if you have a chance, again, helps other people to find it. Yeah, it's really look like an abstract, right? That's cool. We'll see what I can do from that later. Just to save our time, I'm gonna dry it with a hair dryer. It's my first washing. You see, I leave a lot of white paper there, which is important for me. It helps me to keep the highlights. So later I organize the darkness space around, and still will try to keep the white paper. So I make it dry, and we go into. You know, that's why I'm really like the watercolor, like a medium, because with all my experience, I have no idea how it will be look like in the end. It's always unpredictable challenge. That's cool. So I slightly start to mix the phthalo blue-green shade color. It's right here on my palette. So I will try to create the dark green mix. Hello, Spain. I got the question. Why not? It depends what are you looking for. Sometimes I need a huge contrast. Sometimes I make something almost look like a ghost. It always depends on the object. But you should know why that happens. Then you're painting. You lost a lot of pigments because the pigments going deep inside the paper with the water. It's not just standing on top. So that's the reason why we lost sometimes a lot of pigments. But you know, it's good for the watercolor. If it's problem for you, always you can use more pigments, less water to make your combination colors darker. Like for example, here you see it's pretty dark. If I want to make it even darker, I mix the same colors just less pigments, and ta-da, we have a almost black there. So it's everything under your control. But I'm okay if the painting look like a something very light. You know, the watercolor is a very tender material, very soft, very sweet. So it's okay, it's good. Hello, Mexico. And just one trick to add more nice details there. Just for fun, let's pretend that it's a little bit more boats here behind that big guys. So for that, I don't have to paint them for sure, but I can do something which help you to feel what we have a lot of boats there. So I just leave some space for the masts there, and that will be enough. Hello, Argentina. Hello, Florida. You see, just because I leave some white space here, it's starting to look like we have objects there behind. Yeah, I got the message. The full sheet size is really out of stock, but on our website you will find the half sheet boards. So that's exactly what I'm using here on my table, and the quarter size. So we continue to play in our game with a background. And as usual, you see, I don't use the white paint, so if I want to keep the highlights, I have to care about that in advance. Okay, and for all the people who are now on the Facebook, you can go to YouTube channel, it's a live stream video, you can join me. And yeah, I got the question. This is just one green here on my palette. This is a phthalo green blue shade. So I use that very strange green color for my trees, but I mix it with the other colors all the time. So here is mostly the Quinacridone, Sienna, and Indigo, which make it a little bit darker, and that's enough to make the green what I'm looking for. So here is just three colors together, and you see it's a different proportions. That's why we have that very nice variations of the colors. Itself, the color look very strange, really. You know, I call that terrible green. People who was with me on the workshop hear that many times. I will show the color itself. It's pretty strange. So pure phthalo green blue shade look like that. You know, it's like a cheap marker for the kids or something like this, but it's just brilliant for the color mixing. We have 70 people join me today. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time and your support. And again, if you don't mind, please give us a like. It helps other people to find that video. Hello, Marco. Thank you for joining me. I just add some dark accents here somewhere. My area here is pretty wet, that's why I can continue to play with these pigments. And don't ask me what is that. I have no idea what's the object I'm painting. I'm just painting the, remember, ideas of the boat instead of the make the boats. So I don't know. That's part of the game. The last pretty dark touching, just somewhere a little bit. Okay, now we're going to paint the second line of the boats here. As I say, we'll try to pretend that it's a lot of boats there, not just like a 5, 6 what we have on the picture. We'll make a little bit more, just for fun. Hello, Ecuador. I got the question about my brushes. Yeah, it's my brand. So all the brushes what I'm using, it's my brushes. So it's patented, by the way, and you can find it on my website. Yeah, so it's my tools. So slowly the shape's coming, but the main surprise is still in front of us. Just a couple of tricks finally make the boats look like a boat. I just preparing it now. It still look pretty strange, right? I like it. So myself, you know, I'm trying to guess what inside and how it's look like. And it's not clear, understandable. That's cool. It's always, you know, the game with the subconscious, your own subconscious, my subconscious. So we're trying to create something from scratch. It's almost like a God job, you know. You create the world from nothing. Let's add some bright colors. I don't want to use that color for mixes, but just, you know, sometimes the couple of accents make its picture better. So I take the phthalo blue color, very bright blue color. So we add some nice details here on top. And just for fun, one red stroke. Okay, let's make two. Yep, that's good. Okay, now let's go to the truly interesting game. So the bottom part of the boat, I back to that things to make some details. The bottom part of the boat, they're pretty dark, and we're gonna make a reflection at the same moment. Yeah, thank you for the comments. Happy to hear that. That's, you know, that's truly brilliant brushes, because they made special for watercolor. You know, mostly a lot of brushes what we use in the watercolor, they made for the acrylic, for oil, and yeah, it can be useful for the watercolor as well, but they are not special for this. They like, you know, the Kalinsky brushes or any synthetic brushes like what Skoda making, Da Vinci, all of them perfect for acrylic and oil and watercolor, but they hold paint and water as well. But these brushes, it's made for water, so that's make it really unique. I got the question about the, but I'm not sure what I understand what you're asking. So, because you know, about that question we can talk like a couple of hours. What do you mean the main tricks for the watercolor? Play with the water, yeah. Trying to understand what we painting, not by paint, by water. That's the main thing. So it's dirty water, but how to say what's the main thing, an important thing. I mean, it's a lot of things, not just one. So we're trying to make something look like a boat slowly, somewhere on the background. And you see, after I put some pigments on my paper, I use just pure water to blend it. Soft connection. I switched to the little bit bigger brush. It just make the process kind of faster. You know, it's truly interesting to just observe how slowly the picture coming to life, almost from nothing. You know, it's an interesting game. And you know, it's interesting things what we using always me very limited numbers of colors. So it's always here is just a five paint only, 5 colors, and that's the point. If you use the limited numbers of colors, you know your colors very well, so it's you know your mixes very well, and it's more easy to control it. So that's the good point. You know, it's always interesting game. Somewhere I use the strong dry brush strokes, somewhere very soft blending ingredients. So that combination finally create a picture. So I just make it dry, and finally I have to add some details. And believe me, it's look like now it's organized. It's look like some boats here, but believe me, it's still background. Really, it sounds strange, but it's just a background. After I make it dry a little bit, not completely, and start to add some details, finally the picture will come to life. Just about the some details. I just make a little bit more contrast touching here. So I turn off the sound to make it dry, and we'll back. So before we continue, I want to tell you the important thing from my point of view, for sure. Remember, we're not a copy machines, right? We're an artist. So instead of the create the objects and following the reference to make the objects, it's more interesting to explain your feeling about the objects. That's why it doesn't matter the shape of the boats, no matter how many boats, what kind of boats. It's just the boats and my feeling about that place, and the day where I have been here and saw that. So for now we're starting to a little bit change our reference completely and rebuild the picture exactly about what I want to feel and explain, not about what I see on the reference. Okay, so for that I switch to the pointy brush. It's any kind of dark mix, it works here for now, no matter. Because that's what I'm doing now. It's a beauty of the marina, always. Hello, Switzerland. Thank you, Pascal. I appreciate it. So for that step, it's important to leave your brush to dance. Less control, more dancing. So now I'm going slowly going down to add more nice details which make the boats finally look like a boat. Just don't be wrong, when I'm doing this, it's not outlines. I'm not following the shapes what I already have here. I add more information, so that's kind of different job. A little bit more colorful strokes. So instead of make the details, I make the noise of the details, or jazz. It depends what you prefer, jazz or noise. And very important part of any boats in marina, the dark stuff. So we have 90 people watching me now. Thank you very much for your time and your support. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining me. As I say, leave your brush to dance. So again, it's don't. I'm not trying to make the understandable shapes. I'm trying to create the mess, and that mess look like my feeling about that place. That's what I'm trying to do instead of the again paint all of them. Just in the end, a little bit more contrast for the some part. Not important step, but I believe it's make it look a little bit better. And connect everything. Plus it helped me to blend some dark lines what we create. And remember, we're always responsible for everything what we are doing, so we have to sign it. And because we make you know, a lot of lines here in the mask and all the things, and they look beautiful, all of them. Let's make another one line right here, so that will be my signature. So now it's part of the picture, organically look together. Good. So let's, like a game, try to find my signature right here. Okay. So I just give you an idea. That's what I'm trying to do on my workshops. Just blow in the mind, not create perfect shape, not create a perspective construction. It's good things if you sketching, you discover your object, you're trying to study your object. It's good thing, but then you take the watercolor, leave it to dance and try to make it with all your freedom. You're feeling about the object again instead of the created object. So I hope you enjoy the process. If you want to repeat something like that, feel free. It's mine photo. Feel free to use that reference. It's up to you. I can show you that another one time. It's right here. So you can take the screenshot. But my advice, don't follow in that shape exact. It's not important. Till someone ordered you to paint exactly his boat, in that case, yeah, you have to be precise. In other case, who cares? If it will be slightly different, no matter. Thank you very much for your time again. I appreciate it and your support. And see you next Monday. Thank you. Stay creative and healthy. Bye bye.